Hello, this is me again. Sandy E.B., Sandy K.E.B., Sandy E. And today's session is January 12th. Senator Harry S. Reid, wonderful senator out of Nevada, did a great lot of good for the state of Nevada, was landing state at the Capitol, which last year was attacked by the Republican Party. Organized, planned, and executed by Donald J. Trump and his goons. And that's the facts. I mean, he was right on TV. He said it right on TV. Y'all go on down to the Capitol there. And he pointed to the Capitol and told them how to get there. Right on TV, he said these things. And he said, I'll meet you there. And he didn't meet them there. And then when that attack happened and people were screaming for their lives and worrying about their lives, well, Senator Reid wasn't there because he had retired. I thought he was there, but my daughter informed me he had retired years ago, but he did a lot of good. And of course, he would have never voted like Manchin. You low-life piece of crap. That's right, I said it, Manchin. You might be a dabblam Democrat, but there's good and bad in both ends. And you're a bad one, buddy. You're probably a dabblam Republican plant by Trump, 'cause you like them freaking coal mines. And I don't, 'cause I know what you did to those miners and those miners' families. You stole coal. You mined unsafely. You caused explosions, killing miners. You even took guns down there and just shot them down because they wanted to join the union and get better pay. Shame on you, coal mining companies. Shame on you, shame on you, shame. My brother-in-law got killed in the coal mines because it was mined unsafe. My brother Virgil suffered from black lung, mined unsafe. My niece Sharon's husband Jerry, also black lung, suffering bad. There's a bunch of corrupt politicians in Buchanan County. I don't care what anybody says, needs to be cleaned out. I guess I'm just in a, I don't know what you call this mood. Sad, upset, angry. Angry because nobody's being held accountable for what they done on January 6th, 2021. We have, for a year now, we've got roads built. I mean, 95, oh my God, you should have seen 95 before we started getting the roads built. And Biden and his team, they put them to work, put people to work on them roads, and they started getting them fixed. And now 95 was closed down when that big snowstorm happened, but that's because truckers disobeying the law and driving too fast and not staying in the right lane like they're supposed to legally. Truckers. Now, I know my nephew Roy don't play these games. He's a safe driver. And my brother-in-law Bill, I think, just retired from Frito-Lay, Pepsi company, Pepco. And he was $1 million driver with no accidents and stuff. So, you know, there's safe drivers out there, but there's idiots out there too who decide, oh, I want to take a drink, it ain't going to hurt me. Bull crap. Rather see somebody smoke a joint and drive than drink. Because when you smoke a joint, you drive slow. You ain't speeding trying to kill somebody. I was driving a couple years back going down home. And I had to go through West Virginia on that I-77. And as I was leaving, I'd gone down home and I was on my way home back to Northern Virginia. And coming down that highway on I-77, on that freeway they put in there that goes tunnels through the mountains. There's funny stories about that too. But maybe I'll tell you a funny story before I finish that story. My daughter and I was going through that one time on our way back down home from down home. So now in these tunnels they got lights, so you can see real well on them roads and in the darkness and stuff. And so we was going through them tunnels, and I'm going over to my daughter and singing at Beat 90 on the oldest stations, So just singing along, going along, singing and stuff. And then I say to my daughter, Angel, didn't they used to have lights in here? I mean, didn't there used to be lights in here, Angel? These tunnels were awful dark. Now she looks over at me. See, I got my sunglasses on. Them was dark sunglasses because I got light sensitive eyes, so I find the dark, dark, dark sunglasses to wear. And she said, Mom, take your sunglasses off. Anyways, it's sad though, them coal companies, they destroyed a lot of lives. A lot of lives, as the Hatfields will tell you, because they came down in there and just gunned people down. Hatfield McCoy Massacre, it's called. So it's not what it's called. Hatfield McCoy's had a feud going, but Mate 1 Massacre is what it was called. Mate 1 in West Virginia was across the border from Kentucky, and my dad watched them. He grew up Mate 1. He told me when I was staying with him down there in Grundy, he told me that he sat on one of them mountains over there and watched them fight across that river and shoot each other. He said he was a little old tiny boy, but he thought it was hilarious. God bless his heart. My daddy was a good man. He was a good man. I miss my daddy. He could play a banjo, mandolin, French harp, and a guitar. Self-taught. Wrote songs for Ralph Stanley Sr., and I got proof. Because I was a DJ on the radio, WPWC and Dumfries AM station years ago. And so we had backstage passes, as a DJ, you get backstage passes for artists and stuff. And so I had a chance to meet George Jones. He walked up on stage, and them people had paid $17, as high as $75 a piece. Between 17 to 35. Back then, 35 was high, but some of them, paid higher than that, I'm sure. He walked out on stage drunk and all get out and sang one song and walked off. So they go, well, do you want to go in his bus and meet him? And I said, no. They go, what? You're turning down a chance to meet George Jones? And I said, yeah. Sorry, but I am. Yeah, I am. Anybody would get on stage and be drunk and all get out and sing one song after them people paid all that much money to see them and then didn't refund the money? No, I don't want to meet the man. I'd liable to jump into his little shit and tell him off, and he wouldn't like it. He'd probably have me shot right on the spot. Nah, I don't want to see him. So I turned that one down. But Ralph Stanley, now that's a different story there. I mean, my daddy gave him songs put on his gospel albums. So I went in to prove to this man that he knew my daddy, because this man didn't believe me. He was one of them. Actually, he owned a central photo in D.C. where it took pictures of families in front of the Capitol. Capitol photos, central photos, whatever they were called. Anyways, he didn't believe me. So I go backstage on this one. Sure, I go backstage and see him, of course. I get back there and I say, Ralph, can you tell this man you know my daddy? He goes, no, George Endicott. Excuse me? Well, I don't know George Endicott. Now, Mr. Stanley, if you're afraid I want your money, I write songs too, and they're pretty good gospel songs. And my daddy don't want no money for your songs. He told me himself he gave them to you. So why you want to lie about it? I mean, you played at WNRG with my daddy on the radio, and people in Grundy know about it. You was inside his freaking trailer and played right there with him in Grundy at I think it was Boyd's Trailer Lot, I think it was called. I don't know. He got a HUD trailer because me and my son and my daughter had been in a flood after I was Was going to college in 77 and flooded and washed everything out. And then when it did, I went to stay with my mommy, and she did a bad thing to my son. I wasn't happy about that, so I left her house and stayed with my daddy. And then when HUD came along, they gave us that trailer, me and daddy and Jimmy and Angel. Well, we didn't get the trailer, of course. Family, once daddy's dies and mommy's dies, families just steal from each other. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know if every family does that. Maybe the Italians stick together better. I have no clue. Now, ours usually stick together better, but dad blame. Now, I hear they did kind of take care of some business that I didn't want to take care of. Like I don't want people getting shot because of me. Shit. I don't want that. But I got shot, so I guess they figured they need to take some action. I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. I hope to God it ain't, but if it is, it is, it is. I can't help it. I don't know about it. But this thing of 2020 and all the lies that the Republican Party spread about the COVID not killing people, it's done killed. It's rising right now. I see Tennessee is the highest. Oh, Nashville, you little dumbass people. Oh, I'm going to believe in God and save my life. Well, God gave you freaking brains. Use it. Nashville. I went to Nashville once, and I tell you what, it's full of drugs and prostitution all over the place. Get it anywhere. Fentanyl. Go to Nashville. So I hear. I ain't swearing by it. So I hear. So I didn't really particularly care about going to Nashville trying to sing and stuff. I didn't even ask for a freaking gift to write songs. I don't. I don't even like it. I get mad, and I was singing in the creek when I was a little girl. I thought I could sing good. My mommy hollers out, Kate. She called me Kate. I wish you'd get on the radio. Gee, I sing that good, Mommy. So I'm climbing out of that creek. I'm going to go up there and sing some more for her. She goes, nope. Then I could turn you off. Y'all can scroll on by. But before you do, just say hi. Peace. Love, harmony. I can't sing harmony. I used to sing. I don't know about harmonizing. Me and my cousin, my first cousin, me and her harmonized pretty good. My grandma was a midwife, and she didn't deliver me. I don't know how in the heck I got the name I got, Sandra Kay, because I was named after some girl named Sandra Kay. And it was from the church family out of North Carolina. And one of them came to visit Lovis Church. And God bless her heart. She was a good woman. I remember her. She'd go ginseng with Mommy. She was allergic to poison ivy. And Mommy said, it's in your head. Your brain has a lot of power, but you got to use it, she said. So she told that woman, she said, what causes allergy is not enough of something. And if you put too much of something, like for snake bites, they give you venom, So she said, what you got to do is you got to take this poison ivy and wrap it all over you. And sit here, I'll be right here with you and we'll sing. I like to sing too. I mean, ginseng, dig the ginseng and then sing. Boy, it brought about 10 children. One family brought about 49. Suttons, yeah. Anyways, I tell you what's truth. It's hard times right now, and all those lies in 2020, it caused so many deaths. Fox News ought to be sued by the American people. They should, because they've caused so many deaths. And the whole time they's lying about this, they's writing at Fox News, spreading that the disinfectant wipes. They were taking their vaccines and lying about it right on the air. Every one of them. All of them. They should be sued. They should be sued the heck. All of Grundy, all of Hurley, all of those people that lost people down in them mountains because Fox News lied to them should sue Fox News and the Republican Party for the lies they told. Fraud is a federal offense, and they committed fraud concerning this election. Me, my name's Sandra. I researched it. It stands for Defender of Man. I'm a defender of mankind. I'm talking about women and children. A lot of women and children do the suffering when the man do the crimes. And that's a fact. That's a fact. About every man out there's done ran around on their wife, and that's a fact too. And I learned that a weird kind of way, and I ain't going to tell that story right here because it probably wouldn't be appropriate. But it wasn't pretty, and it broke my heart. And when I broke my heart, after the third time getting my heart broken by the first man I married, I said, that's it, you want a divorce? Fine, gladly. But look at me, you said I wasn't smart enough to pass a GED. But look at me, I got a diploma. I can go to college. And I did. College. I did. How about that? James C. Barker Sr. I know I'm kind of ugly, but shoot. It's okay. I ain't broke the camera yet. Well, I guess it is kind of cracked. Got a lot of missing teeth. I found out why I was having all those nosebleeds and why I was always anemic and probably why I was such a mean little something from time to time because when my husband threw something at me, I wasn't taking that crap. When I went to throw it back at him and he picked up my daughter and put him in front of him, coward. Big old badass Marine, coward. When I heard about how he treated my kids, next time I see you, I ain't gonna be so pleasant. In fact, I'm probably gonna cause a scene maybe, so I think maybe I'll avoid you and her wife because she stood around and seen things happen and didn't do shit. Coward. Army. Cowards. Cowards, both of you. You allowed this to happen to my children. Cowards, both of you. It's a shame to have people in the military cowards, ain't it? But people who attack the Capitol, ex-military men, you're cowards. You're cowards. Cowards, cowards, cowards. And morons. All of you. You need to be arrested, jailed, and then expelled. Even if you're an American, you should be sent to Guantanamo for a while. And see how they treat you over there. I mean, you mistreated people over there. Accordingly to some people, they've got only one person over there now. And he's innocent, apparently. So they say. I have no clue. But I tell you what, I don't care if you are in the military. You can stand up and do what is right. I don't care if you say, well, it's expected of me. It's acceptable. It ain't acceptable. And you could do right, but you don't. Coward. Coward. Those of you who do not stand up and hold these people accountable, cowards. And I'm screaming on January 6th, where's the Pentagon? The Pentagon is here. Where's the freaking military? Well, military has to follow the president's orders, and he ain't ordered us to go there. Cowards, all of ya. State of Virginia stepped up. Thank you, State of Virginia. National Guard, thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank the world of you. You stepped in and did the right thing. You went down there and helped. God bless y'all. And all the responders went down there and got hurt and deaths. I pray for y'all. But you need to be held accountable. I don't care if you're my relatives or not. And I got a feeling there's a few of them there. You need to be held accountable. You need to pay the price because you did the crime. Thinking you can get by with it. You need to pay the price. You did the crime. Pay the time. I was never so disappointed in American people in my freaking entire life as I was on January 6th. I was embarrassed to talk because half the people yelling, get him, sounded like me. But I wasn't there. No, sir, I'm watching in horror as me and my son and my daughter are calling senators. My son called his senators. I called every freaking senator out there, including Manchin, who hung up on me. Manchin, you're a Democrat, butthead. You need to be held accountable. You own a bunch of coal mines, been mining unsafe coal, killing miners. Killed a man, put the woman in there. My first cousin, first woman in a coal mine. In the state of Virginia that I know of, I don't know, I'm sure. Well, I know I was in a coal bank, so it's a coal mines. It's not, mines and banks are different. Banks self-owned, mines is owned. I was in a coal bank and almost died, but she was in them mines working, protecting her children. God bless her. I thank the world of her and her family. They would come see Mommy all the time. And my first cousin, Gene, he'd come see Mommy all the time. May he rest in peace. He's a Vietnam veteran. Now, he thought it shouldn't have happened over her, too. He knew it was wrong. He might have been the one, well, he actually rode a horse, I think, cross country to protest the Vietnam War. If people could just get along, we wouldn't need no war. Seriously, why we want to kill each other? Let's share the planet and save it, and then it'd help us all. You know, we all have food, but dad blame if you just spend all your time in bed playing with yourself and other people and having babies like India does. Then you got slaves. That's why you have them. Let's have these babies and sell them. Let's come on. Let's slave trade. Oh my God, how much I get for this little boy? How much I get for this Lord, sexy little girl? Let's put her out there and pimp her out. And in India, I was informed by somebody from India that it's an honor to steal. If you can steal and get away with it, you honor your family. Well, I rented an apartment from Hitesh Gupta. Now, he was a good landlord. When I bled out, he came down and cleaned me up, even though he voted for the Republicans, which I was very disappointed about. His mom was probably rolling over in her grave, I'd say, because she was not a Republican, or at least she didn't say she was. And she invited me to, she wanted me to go to a funeral, and went, and it was the most interesting funeral. And I thank the world of Hitesh because, like I said, he wiped my blood up, so he's a good man. And when his sister stole from me and I brought it forward and I told him flat out, you know, you get my money back or I'm moving. It dishonored his family, but he stood up and made her give my money back. So he's a good man. He's an honorable man, but a lot of people in India are not. You know, stealing is, like I said, everybody can stand up and do the right thing. Right thing is you don't steal from people, especially people poorer than you are. You just don't do it. It's just not right. You don't make fun of old people. One day you be old. And the Iranians, oh man, how high and mighty they seem to be sometimes. Oh yeah, I'm so beautiful. Look at me. Really? Beauty fades. What you do to people does not fade. You make fun of old people, when you get old, you're going to be abused like you abused those old people that you abused. Now, that's a fact. It'll go. It'll come right back on you. So go ahead and make fun of us old people. Laugh at us and jump up and down and get happy when we need help and can't get it. Go ahead. It's a coming. It's coming for you too. Old age, pain, suffering. We all face death on a daily basis because we never know what's going to happen. You might step out there and a car run you over and you'll be dead. Now you think, well, I don't believe in hell because I'm an atheist. Send me some money. What do you need money for if you don't believe in hell? Shit, you don't need no money. You got the devil, let him give it to you. I'm not an atheist. I wouldn't call me a Christian either because, man, they got the Bible all freaking wrong. There's codes in the Bible and you've got to search, you've got to read, you've got to study, and you've got to learn. You've got to use your brain because God gave it to you. It's called a third eye right here. Remember that big old man, that giant that King David killed? If you hit somebody with a rock right here, you drop them dead because their frontal lobes and you're dead. Now, they pictured him as a huge giant with a big old eye. Well, that wasn't what it was at all. No, he was just a huge man, a giant, because there were giants. He was a huge man, and David knew, and he had studied and learned, studying and learning and studying and learning and studying and learning, and he had learned about the third eye. King David knew that stone would take that out, that giant, and he took him down. One tiny little boy. See? Power. The power is love. You love your family. You love what's right in life. You love truth, justice, honesty. I've been told I'm stupid honest, and I guess I am. My business failed because I'm honest. Well, if you have to be dishonest to have business, maybe I don't deserve a business. I don't know how to be any other way. That's me. Back to Harry Reid. He was one of them good guys, the ones that did what's right. He did a lot for Nevada. So I think maybe if I can talk my son into it, maybe we'll take a little trip back to Nevada. Mother's Day, maybe. I'll see. It would be nice to go spend some money in Nevada. I like to spend money in states who appreciate little people. I won't think I'll be buying in West Virginia when I go through. I don't know about Kentucky. I can't stand Mitch McConnell, but I think they got a Democratic governor. I don't know about Kentucky. Certain areas in Kentucky, I spend money, like Belfry. They were good to me. I'll spend money in Belfry, Kentucky if I go down that way. I don't think I'll spend much money in Hurley. Well, I don't know. That IGA store did hire a black girl. And I was happy to see that when I was there in 2008. I was happy to see that. And that girl was honest. She was black, but she was honest. Honest as the day is long. She brought my $10 right back out there to me. And them people lied on that poor girl and said that she would keep their money, and she didn't do that. She wasn't doing that because she wouldn't have brought mine all the way out the car, and me not even knowing I gave her too much. $10 got stuck together, and I'd given her too much because, you get those new bills, and they stick together, and it stuck together, and she come out there and got me my $10 back. And I told her, well, Lord, child, you could have kept that. I wouldn't even noticed. And she goes, yeah, but it's not the right thing. It's not the right thing. That young lady, I don't know what her name was, but God bless her, whoever she is. She worked at the IGA store in Hurley, Virginia. God bless her and her family because they taught her what's right. She chose to do what's right. Now, those other people who were lying on that girl, they'll suffer. They'll lose more than what they took from that girl by trying to get her fired. I went up to the manager. I did. I went up there and I asked to see the manager. She come down there looking all sour-faced. She figured I was going to start complaining again. I guess that's all to do is complain. So I walked up to her and I said, I'd like to see the manager. And she stepped down. I saw the look on her face and I said, well, before you get all upset, I'm not going to complain. And she just smiled. Really? I said, now, this young lady that you hired here, this little black lady here, this young black girl that you hired here, I said, they've been lying on her. I said, they've been trying to get her fired. They've been saying that, don't go through her line, she'll keep your money. I told that manager, I don't know who she was, or owner, who she was. I told her, I said, look here, I said, that young lady, I had left two bills stuck together, and she came all the way out to my car and picked on my window and gave me that $10. Anybody that would go out of their way to come out there and tell you to do what's the right thing to do, you don't fire those kind of people. They're honest. You keep those kind of people, because those other people that are talking about her, trying to get her fired, I guarantee you they're stealing from you. You might not know it, but they be stealing. Because when honest people come aboard and they don't steal, and I know this for a fact, I used to manage, and I also worked in the forced labor, the labor force. Not forced labor, labor force. Anyways, if they are complaining, trying to get you fired because you're honest, they're stealing. That was true in Best Buy. They found that guy after I reported him a couple times. He done stole over $10,000 worth of equipment. Went to jail for it. Not to mention what he'd sold under the table. I don't know how much he'd stole, but they accused me of being on a stealing ring. What stealing ring? I didn't know there was one. I kept telling you these people were stealing from me. You don't believe me? But you like to be flirted with, don't you? And he flirted with you, so you gave me a job away, which I was doing an excellent job at. We took, Sterling, there was a girl named Lisa, managed Best Buy in Pentagon. And that was the worst, what's it called? Profit and loss store in the area. I mean, they just kept losing and losing and losing. And Lisa went on vacation, and they was up for a banner. They had Best Buy were running these contests where the best store with the lowest loss, would get a banner, and they get to hang it up, And so we wanted Lisa, because she was a hard-working manager. She wasn't one of the managers got there and tell you what to do. She got there and worked with you. So we like managers like that. Everybody that works, they like a manager that works. So we all got together, me and a girl named Shelley, and my sister-in-law at the time. We all got together and we decided to work together and give that store a banner. Lisa got back from vacation, we had a banner. And that's how we did it. We worked together. I even ran to a boy who was working there. His name was Johnson. And I said, you wouldn't have to be related to Gregory Johnson, would you? And he just eyeballed it out like that. How do you know Gregory Johnson? Well, he shot me. But I don't hold it against him. Probably got into wrong business, dealing drugs stuff, driving a brand new Cadillac. Must be drugs. Well, anyways, he worked there, and he went along with this deal to get this. I told him, I said, look, we can work together. We don't have to hate each other. We can work together. Just don't steal anything, because if I catch you, I'm going to turn you in. And so me and Shelley was in, I was pricing man. I was in the pricing. I was in charge of pricing. That's how we also brought the profit and loss down. A lot of time, if the prices aren't changed, then you have to sell it at a higher price if you haven't changed them prices when they go on sale. And a lot of times, if the pricing person is a lazy little person and don't do their job, then you lose a lot of money. And that's one of the losses we started noticing. There's a lot of losses in the pricing. Well, when I got the job pricing, I worked with Shelley. She was in charge of, she scanned for quantity. I would price, she'd scan for quantity, and we'd help search. We'd help each other. We worked together. We didn't say, okay, you do your job, I do mine. No, we worked together. That team did. And so we worked together, and we brought that store a banner. Lisa come back, and there's that banner. She was so surprised. It was good to see her surprised like that, though. Good management. I like to see them happy. So we moved to Sterling. There was a lady named Diana. She wasn't such a great manager. I mean, after all, she let all these people steal me, telling them she still didn't do shit about it. Diane, sorry, but you wasn't a good manager. You weren't. Now I got shot, and my colon's all messed up. When when I go to the bathroom, it's really stinky. And so I know that matches, if you light a match, the sulfur takes the smell away, clears the air, and purifies it. So other people don't come in there and have to smell your sheet. Pardon my language. Well, she come in there. You smoking? No, I told you I don't smoke. I smelled it. No, you smelled a match because my shit stinks. So she made me stop using a match, but she did put good management. She did put a sanitizing, nice smelling something in the bathroom so it didn't smell so bad when I go in there. Well, that wasn't working, and I was in inventory, and I told them they were stealing. Well, they didn't want to hear that, so they moved me to and I met Lynn Rhymes. I wasn't too impressed with her all that much, but since she was coming there, I thought, well, why don't they sell my CD? It's got a barcode on it. They said, no, we can't do that. I said, well, you're not you're not very smart. I thought, but I'm a nobody, so Leanne Rhymes was somebody. She was in Nashville. I went to Nashville and said, no, I'm not interested. But that's okay, I like my gospel songs better anyway, so I wasn't really worried about all that. But I just thought it was funny. They put me in the records department where the CDs and stuff are, and then tell me I couldn't put my own CD in there to sell. I said, well, I put it in Tower Records, though. It sold, but I didn't get the money from it. When I got there and went to pick up the money for it, it was stolen. So you see, writers, they say, make more money than... I don't believe that's too awful true, because they get a lot of songs stolen from them. It's easy. I mean, look at all those old people like Etta James, wrote all those songs, got stolen from her, and all those black people that sang all that soul music, that soulful music, that not really soul, but what jazz, what they brought to the music industry, and a lot of their songs were taken. Like Elvis Presley got that song Babe something and did a thing with it, and he went off big time because he's white. That wasn't right. It wasn't right to do that to them people. But that's what happens. Your songs get stolen, and I've had songs stolen from me. But you steal one, I can write three more. It's a gift. And if you're a good person in God, you stand up for what's right, God will give you gifts. But you have to use them or you lose them. And I haven't been using mine lately, and I'm going to start in 2022. I'm trying to put all my poems together, and then I realized they ain't that great. Other people write most beautiful poems, like that young lady that read that poem at Biden's inauguration. That was the most beautiful poem ever was. And then I'm going, I thought I was a poet. I don't think I'm a poet at all, but I do like to write rhyming stuff. And I did get a letter from the White House when I was living in Reston. Ain't that something? Yeah, I sure did. And the people we lived on, what was it? I can't remember what the name of that apartment complex was there in Reston where we lived. But it was relatively new. It was like brand new when we moved in there, and we had stuff in storage got stolen from us. We lost three bicycles. Lost a whole bunch of stuff where I was selling stuff. I had a store, we go to flea markets and sell SMC, specialty merchandise. They got a whole bunch of specialty merchandise and stuff. A lot of people got some good Christmas presents that year from me, free, in Reston. I don't know who robbed it, but they robbed us. Thank God I had the CDs. They had come and I'd had them in my apartment. I didn't take them to the storage yet, so they didn't get stolen, but the bicycles and everything else got stolen. Anyways, I'd written a poem. I'd wanted my son, who worked for DNC at the time, to hand. He met Bill Clinton in person and shook his hand, but he didn't vote for him. I voted for him, but he didn't. But he handed. I wrote a poem, something about how I was happy that a Democrat got into the office or something. But it wasn't a great poem, but it was just a thoughtful poem. And he wrote me a letter thanking me for the poem, but I never read no poems in the White House. Maya Angelou did, though. Now, there was a poet. And so, you see, it was okay that I didn't get read in the White House. But the fact that he took time to write a letter, I thought that was great. Then I walk in JV restaurant, it's like 3 there. I go, shoot. But then I figured out you need money. Now, I didn't put any money into the Democratic Party to get that letter from the White House. I just wrote a poem and thought it was nice that we actually had a Democrat. Maybe we get something done now, because Reagan ain't done crap. Get us in 2 wars. So, I just I just was happy to see them get elected. And he wrote me a letter and said thank you for the poem. It was thoughtful. And I got that letter, and my daughter recently commented that I never lived in rest and that I was married, which I was married at the time, but I had split up because he'd gotten another girl pregnant. So I had left him and moved to rest with my son. And apartment was in his name, but because I was living there too, he was able to get it. When I'd go to pay the rent, my share of the rent, he would say buy groceries, which I did. So I lived there, and my daughter had the audacity to tell me I never lived there. I just looked at her, kind of sad like. I said, well, Angel, I've got a letter from the White House to prove it. And I walked away and went to my room and cried. Because a lot of things I say, they come out wrong, and people misunderstand them, and they think I'm attacking when I'm not. I'm trying to compliment, and they think I'm attacking, and on and on and on. And it's just, once you get head injuries and your brain gets damaged, you don't function the same way. And if you've been in war and you've had guns going off and all that, you don't function the same way. It's called PTSD. And if you've been shot, you're more than likely going to carry PTSD. And that's why a lot of the people who are doing the right thing are fighting against gun violence. I had this young lady tell me she's proud of her gun she owned. She owned a whole bunch of guns, and it didn't matter, because when you shot them, when you shot people, it didn't hurt. I asked her, what world do you come from? Now, when you're in war and you might be in shock, you might not feel it. But when you're not in war and you're walking on the street and all of a sudden somebody shoots you, trust me, I felt it. And everybody wants to meet you then. You might not even be popular before you get shot, but once you get shot, everybody and their brother comes to the hospital to see you. And the only reason they come to see you, not because they like you or love you or care about you or even know you that well. They come to see you because they want to know what it feels like to get shot. It feels like fire. That's what it feels like. And it burns. As long as you're conscious, you feel that fire going. And I felt that fire going all through my body before I went unconscious. So when that girl sat there and tell me it don't hurt, I got madder than a hornet at her. I started telling her, you ain't never been shot, and until you get shot, you ain't got no right to say anything. And whoever told you that, you better go home and tell them they're a liar, because I'm here to tell you for a fact it does. It does. Now, if you hunting and you know how to hunt properly, you stay up high where the poor old deer can't see you, and you shoot it with a bow and arrow where they can't hear it, like Native Americans did, it's a peaceful. And you shoot them right here and they're dead and they don't feel no pain. You always thank them for giving you the meat. But if you don't know how to hunt properly, And the animals do, they suffer. And Harry Reid. This is just to say, prayers going out to all those people who lost people in 2021 because of lies. Now, Harry Reid didn't probably die because of lies. He retired years ago, but prayers going out to Harry Reid and his family. Pray that their good work continues and that Nevada is blessed for the good work he has done. Prayers going out to all the first responders out there in these cold weathers, fighting, struggling, trying to keep the roads clean, and people in heat. We went out heat 3 days. It ain't pretty, I know, but I'm laying in my bed with all these quilts on me, colder than all get out. And all I could think of was all those homeless people I'd seen in D.C. and I'd given money to in D.C. Pretty much in some streets, everywhere you walk, there's somebody homeless. And you know good and well they're not going to survive. And then it burns me up that all these churches, there's one church called Mission Church in D.C. that will give homeless people a home. When mine burnt, they let me stay there. I lived in D.C. a little while, and somebody set my house on fire because they wouldn't let them in. And then they gave me a place to stay, that mission. God bless them. They will. But lots of churches, they don't take people in. I was walking and I stopped to rest on a bench outside a Catholic church. You know, they told me to get up and leave. All I want to do is rest. Do you think that man is going to get into heaven? I don't think so. You don't turn people away that needs. If you're a good person, if you're doing the right thing, you help. We got pretty good neighbors around here. Miss Hahn next door, she's awesome. She'll come over and bring us stuff like ginger tea, and if she makes something that's Korean she thinks we like, she'll bring it over here. And Caleb, he's real good about mowing her lawn for her, you know, when he's mowing it. And she thought that, she kept trying to pay him, and we kept telling her, no, you're just right next door, and it ain't what, small piece of speed ain't gonna kill him, you know, mow that. It's just the way it is. And she just appreciated it so much, kept trying to give us money for him, and she just thinks the world of Caleb because he's good about that. He got out there after it snowed, and he shoveled the took him 45 minutes, but he shoveled the walkway all the way past our house, past her house, you know, down to where his past where we supposed to do. And he's pretty good. He wouldn't take my car off, the snow off my car. I think he was afraid I was going to leave. He didn't want me out in the cold, because I'd been mentioning about how I'd slept in cars before. And because I sometimes walk on eggshells, wondering if I'm going to get thrown out or not. I guess I'll live with that fear all my life. Anyways, I don't know why I just keep fearing that, but I do, and do. So, mentioned something about that, and I think that's why he wouldn't keep the car off. I ended up paying $20 to get it dug out so I could go to the store and get some gas, though. But pretty good neighbors around here. I mean, they ain't caused no trouble to us so far. I mean, one little boy told me I couldn't dance that well, but hey, I'm just doing my dance of pain, keep moving. So I'm not trying to dance that well. Some people like to watch, some people don't. It's the way it is. But I don't dance that well, so I don't think I'll be dancing up that way anymore. Prayers going out to Harry Reid. All the people lost from COVID. And I hope to God they hold people accountable for all the lies they spread about it. I do. I pray for that. I do. God bless you, Harry Reid, for all the good work you did. Prayers and peace and harmony be unto all. Unto all. A good day. From the one and only Sandy K, Sandy E, Sandy B. Who knows? Just call me singing.